Well, CNN News 18 has also accessed the post-mortem report of Sahil. He died in this road accident in Dwarka, and the PM, the post-mortem report reveals multiple severe injuries. The report cites craniocerebral trauma along with damage to vital organs including the spleen and liver. Medical findings also indicate accumulation of blood in pleural cavity as well as blood in the esophagus and pharynx as well, confirming the violent nature of the accident, and also explains how possibly this is indicative of a spot death. I do want to bring in Anvit Srivastav into the conversation. More details on the post-mortem report, Anvit, and what does it really suggest?
See, it clearly suggests that the nature of incident, and as it's being said since the beginning that it was a head-on collision. Injuries to brain is what has led to spot death of Sahil Dhaneshra. This report, PM report that we have accessed, clearly mentions that there is massive subdural hematoma, that is injury to the brain and accumulation of blood between the brain and the wall of skull. This is because of the skull fracture that happened and on spot, and that caused death. Also, severe hemorrhage due to head-on collision is what is one of the reasons. Injuries to spleen and other vital organs, lungs, and liver is also mentioned in the postmortem report. But very clearly, it mentions that there was spot death in this case. PM report goes on to mention that Sahil Dhaneshra was spot dead, and the reason is mentioned. One of the main reasons is accumulation of blood in pleural cavity. Pleural cavity is the space between the lungs and the chest wall. There also there was blood. So the massive internal bleeding led to his death, not just in the brains but also in the lungs, in esophagus and pharynx. There was accumulation of blood, and this is what exactly led to spot death. Is also mentioned in the postmortem. It also goes on to detail as what injuries were there to vital organs like lungs, spleen, liver, and other places. So this is clearly charts out the kind of incident it was. It was
Yeah.
previously also been said that it was a head-on collision, and Sahil was riding a bike when this incident took place, while the SUV driver was coming from the opposite direction. It was a head-on collision, and Sahil was left spotted.
So was the SUV driver driving on the wrong side of the road? What more have investigators revealed? Because there's another claim that's now been made by victim Sahil's mother that all of this happened due to negligence because the man behind the wheel was possibly wanting to flaunt a social media content skill. That said, what are the police confirming at the moment, Anvit?
See, reckless driving has certainly come into the picture. Cases, sections of reckless driving have also been slapped against the SUV driver, and he was arrested and he was, charged with these things. And also, not just this, but CCTV footages are also being collected to establish the entire sequence of incident. Police are investigating this case, but other than that, mother has also come out to appeal to the public and not just administration that to come out and support her and also make sure that such incidents are not repeated, because this is not one of incident. We have previously also seen such incidents happening and claiming innocent lives. So yeah, this is another repeat of such incident. And police, what the senior officials we've spoken to, they have said that the incident is being probed from all the possible angles. But at the same time, they're also looking into the fact that if there is any other angle to it, probably drunken driving, or it has also been so many other angles are being looked into. And so far, as far as the case is concerned, police have said that they've seized the vehicle. Forensically, also the case is being looked into, and scientific evidence from the spot and as well as from CCTV footage that have been collected. They are also being looked into to establish the sequence of events and probe the case further.
There are two sides to this story as we speak, and especially in the wake of this message that's coming from Sahil's mother, the victim's mother. One, Anvit, is of course social responsibility that parents must also carry. If indeed this were a minor, the accused is a minor, and yes, he was taken in to a juvenile board for monitoring. He's been granted interim relief on the grounds of his class 10th examination. That's one. So why is it that he had access to driving this car without a driving license, as has been confirmed by the police? The second aspect is juvenile law in India, and on multiple occasions in the past we've had this conversation, possibly something that the mother is looking at getting fixed again.
Certainly. See, coming to your first point, if he's a juvenile and the car was handed over by someone else, then that person also becomes liable for the crime. And the police are looking into these legalities, and the ambit of the investigation will certainly be increased, and other people who are responsible will also be brought in and will be slapped against with the sections that are needed to be added in this case. Is what the senior police officials are saying. Secondly, coming to the law against juvenile, see that certainly is a bigger thing that we talk about. Certainly, there needs to be stringent action being taken, not only to set precedents, but also to make sure that such incidents are not repeated. This man had been driving this SUV, and then he's found to be driving without a license.
Yeah.
He had been driving. There was no checks. He must have driven across unknown kilometers. He must have crossed the traffic signal, but he was not stopped and no checking was done. So there has to be preventive action if we talk about the larger picture, and certainly there needs to be stricter laws so that there is not only deterrence but also such
Yeah.
incidents go down.
As for now, the mother's appeal and her claims have brought the spotlight back onto the investigation. Thank you, Anvit, for joining us with the latest.